Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are here finally into the finals. It's been a heck of a journey. Our quarterfinals with the best of ones were so action-packed that we just had to get game 3 for our semis because we want a full cadre of games of heroes tonight. FourCourtJester and Hasselot, Mr. Haas, it has been some really fun times, but once more, we are going into the Sky Temple for these two teams as Evil Geniuses finally makes a stream appearance.
They do, and they open things up with a Tassadar ban. It's a pick that Bims has played in every game we've covered of him, and EG taking that one away, so it's a good opener from them. ESV reply with the Illidan ban. EG pick up Uther as their main support, favouring it over the Rhaegar. ESV then go Rhaegar, Valor, two very solid picks. And then EG mix it up a little bit with Tyrande, and then Hammer in there. Hammer's so strong on Sky Temple. Once you get sieged up, it's hard to shove you out of those temples, especially if it's down bottom.
So Wildfire with the Rhaegar, I mean, usually you would see that for a favor of a little bit more, melee heavy. You get a melee DPS in that, like an Illidan, but of course he is going to be banned. But taking away, those supports first pick, it definitely seems to be all the rage here. Not only NA, but sometimes even EU and Korea. I've been watching some of the Korean heroes with the HBO as of late. But I like the Tyrande pickup there as well as the Hammer. They're basically denying that. And have you ever done a Sergeant Hammer lane with the Tyrande?
Not to my knowledge, no.
It's phenomenal. I highly recommend
I can imagine.
The Hunter's Mark, the Siege mode, stuns, and then the concussives into... Yeah, it's a great lane. I absolutely adore duo queuing with that Hero League solo queue. It's definitely fun stuff. So what can ESV Wildfire retaliate with?
So they've gone for this Nazebo, and in the previous games we've seen teams have prioritized tanks a lot higher. And there it is, second rotation for ESV. They take away ETC. Really strong from them. I like the way their team comp shaping together. And it takes ETC away from EG, so EG now looking to get another interrupt for the Nazebo. Of course, they already have Tyrande, which means the Nazebo pick is quite ballsy.
If they can protect it, though.
Yeah, if they can protect it, it's all good. They need to get rid of that Tyrande or burst the Tyrande up.
So what kind of frontliner can we get here from Evil Geniuses? We still got a Malfurion. We still got a Malfurion floating around. Could it be a double tank?
No, I feel like EG need a bit more damage in here. They've got Hammer and kind of Tyrande. I feel like they need something like Diablo solo tank. And then add something in there like a Tychus, like a Zagara on Sky Temple's okay. Like a Zeratul? There's no Tassadar.
Once upon a time, ZP's was a fantastic Kerrigan. But ever since the nerfs, she's been few and far between. Could go into a Thrall instead, could go into a Zeratul. It's definitely an option available to Evil Geniuses. And that way as well, if you do take a Thrall into this, let's say you go, well, they're not gonna, but let's say they did, the Sundering could easily become the Nazebo, the anti-Nazebo there.
But they're hopping on the bandwagon of Jaina. I'm still yet to be impressed by Jaina in her current state. Of course, she is very squishy. Only gets that ice block and sprint for her escape purposes or her defensive purposes. So that's the damage element done. They now need a tank. What do they combine it with?
You're not a fan of the solo Stitches, but it definitely worked out in good regard last round. They do got the heals and a half. They got the healing ward to go down on top of that. And, in terms of the hook pressure on top of a solo healing Rhaegar, which is likely to be joined by Malfurion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good amount of pressure.
I feel like Malfurion would be nice in that comp, but yeah, Stitches could work.
It's not, Mirrodin is kind of the evidence there.
Yep. As I think my Stormcraft's bugged again.
No, it's still taken away from me.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the last pick. They can take as much pool time as they want, all the way down to the last drop. In terms of everything else, I mean, yeah, it will be the Stitches. It's just too good to give up. ESV likely to take the Malfurion unless they really want to go back to a triple assassin sort of setup and just leave Rhaegar to his own devices. But we've talked statistically about how that really doesn't work out for most teams. And Evil Geniuses is not most teams. I mean, this is definitely another upper echelon team making its way here into the finals.
Yeah, what other options are there? They could run double tank again with the Diablo. They could run double support with the Malfurion. But damage options seem to be exhausted except for maybe Thrall or Tychus.
What about like Bruiser Sonya?
Sonya's seen some play. But
more than normal, Dispatch.
Yeah, more than normal, but even so, I feel like...
Have her jump into the back there on top of Jaina, whirlwind to victory?
Yeah, Jaina or Hammer, the leap is an option. We got 45 seconds left. Has to...
No, we saw a pretty decent Chen.
Again, we did, round. But if you're going Chen, you might as well go Diablo.
But Chen in the barrel, like not.
Yeah,
not
Chen in the barrel to isolate the hammer.
Isolate the hammer, break up the comp.
Yep.
And Jaina, of course. Yeah, I mean, there's 3 really squishy heroes there for Evil Geniuses. Yeah. The Tyrande, the Hammer, and the Jaina. You get any of those alone, you push them forward, you push them back out of the team comp, you kind of do leave yourself a little exposed. Still ticking down. They're still thinking of it all the way down to the last drop, as we said. Falstad's been seeing some play these days as well, but it will actually be probably Lightning Breath, based upon the preferences I've noticed here from Wildfire.
Yeah, Wildfire do like to run the Lightning Breath, and that makes sense. They've gone for this double tank setup again here. They can get in on the Hammer, they can get in on Jaina. Once Jaina gets grabbed and tossed over, then it's pretty easy for ESV to burst them down.
Well, we're going to have to see. How is it going to go? First game of this finals best of 3 will go back to Sky Temple. This will be 2 in a row for Wildfire, and they just came off a resounding victory just last round up against the Magikarp. Magikarp couldn't evolve, unfortunately. Instead, fainted. He's now resting in that Pokeball. But Evil Geniuses, as I said, is not most teams. This is definitely their solid roster between LZ Gamer, Faye, and Idra. I mean, Kawhi Rice has now been there for a good bit. And ZP, as we said, the former captain of Glorious, is now permanent. I don't think permanently, but he's really been with them. I don't know if he's an accepted roster member yet, but he's been around, man. He has been around.
Yeah, he certainly has. And as you said, Sky Temple is the map. So it's a map where you want this pressure throughout, not just in the early game. And Stitches, being the hooker that he is, brings pressure throughout the entire game because there's always that risk of a wild hook being thrown out. So the left-hand side is the good old Evil Geniuses. Faye on Jaina, Kawaii Rice on Uther, LZ Gamer on Tyrande, ZPs on the good old Stitches, and in the bot lane all by himself is Idra.
Idra on the tank, going back to his Terran roots. Flip side though, it is going to be the Wildfire. Pickles, Tsunami, Bims, Iacona, and Wargreymon. Wargreymon has Vala into the bot, so it's not really going to be huge amounts of clear. They do got the Nazebo to kind of deal with it, but very likely I want to say, Tsunami into the mid, unless it's going to be a bit more roam heavy. That's going to be a hook. Unfortunately, it does not connect with anything, and the quote-unquote watchtower fight will go the way of ESV.
So Idra is trying his absolute best to block these minions.
Failing.
But yeah, it's not going to be too far. Like, well, that's really not far enough, considering he blocked them from the keep all the way to there. No, he didn't lose anything for it, but he didn't gain anything either.
Yeah, you don't lose, but I don't know. Looks a little silly. Iacona looking silly with his pants down, gets some 3-man ganked. Once more, we're seeing this early transition comp with the Tyrande and the Jaina.
Yep, but they seem to be roaming with Stitches Tyrande instead, which again makes sense. Stun into hook. And then your lanes also provide you with CC. The Uther solo, the Jaina solo. You can't really imagine this roam comp going towards bot because of Vala being so easy to get out of those. And also with the two-man roam is that EG, they're 9 times out of 10 gonna have control of this watchtower, and as I say that, Rhaegar takes it back for himself.
And you can see Pickles setting up here on top of this mid-temple. It is going to be all 5 in attendance. The siege tank, however, is opting not to be abandoning the bottom lane, so it's going to be a little bit of extra soak there. But ZP's looks like he's going to be a big target. He is very close to going down. A nice heal there at the end. Both the double heal, LZ and Kawhi. Owl goes out to find out what exactly the rest of ESV is going to be doing out of it. But Pickles still soloing pretty nicely here. War Greymon is going to stick around. They're just going to let Idra actually push out as much as he can. Bottom, Faye could be in some trouble, but the team is here to back her up. So looks like it's going to be a bigger fight up top rather than mid.
Yep, and meanwhile, as you said, Idra's soaking this bot lane out, getting the XP, and is just going to start sieging up and wailing on these towers. They're going to trade shrine for shrine. Are they going to get... Okay, they got mid tower, so Wildfire do have that slight lead, but because of the early kills that came in, EG pulling it back, and of course Idra being the third lane soaker, getting a tower of his own now.
Yeah, but here comes ETC for that gank. It's going to come in. That's going to be the power slide after the face smell. One more hit. War Greymon doesn't have it. Doesn't have that position to chase down the thrusters on that Idra. So he's going to be all right. It was a good gank. However, we do got pings. Pickles, Tsunami, and Bims are going to be looking to grab themselves these easy camps, start pushing down and putting some pressure on the bottom.
Yep, stealing them away is a great idea here. They know it's just Idra solo, so he's going to be distracted for a while. Pickles gets caught. Very nice charge from him though onto the minion. Try and get away from that situation. And Bims just comes along, helps his teammate out by dropping the wall of zombies.
Yeah, the zombie donut, as apparently Tasteless has taken to calling it.
I like it.
Tasteless. The zombie donut, Zeratul Void Prison is the spooky orb. That one actually gets me every time. Level 7 hype, just a little bit ahead here of ESV because of, again, Idra with that bottom lane soaking. Did a pretty good job of it. Now he's on the defense. But they do get those 7 talents earlier on. A little bit of a different Jaina build this round. Looks like it's going to be the duration into Snowstorm as Iacona drops on camera, and Frostbitten to be adding to that.
As Stitch is going for this solo tank build, this is the standard one. Before we saw Wildfire play solo tank slam build. This time it's full on tank, chew your food, amplified healing because of course 2 healing wards and Uther, and then Tenderizer just to keep his enemies close to him. And has actually gone for the reduced, he's gone for the resistant.
Yep.
And Uther with the cleanse. I'm not too sure what CC that Wildfire have that Hammer needs that resistant for, because you've got what, Diablo?
Well, they might be expecting Apocalypse,
Yeah.
they might be expecting Mosh, Reign of Vengeance, of course,
Yeah.
and Earthgrasp Totem later on.
Idra nearly caught out there. But ETC is miles away for now, and EG are about to hit 10, or they're going to hit 10 at least before Wildfire here.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be
That'd be a good timing. Yeah, it is very dangerous. ESV more than likely just needs to kind of transition back top and start pushing out, try to equalize the fort. They cannot really afford to keep on this unless they can clean them out right now. The body blocks are huge. Idra cannot get forward. He gets hit by the zombie wall as well, and he will eventually drop. That puts us now 9. We're still looking for those heroics from Evil Geniuses. ZP is going to get overpowered back into the fray. That's going to be a hook, however, on top of Bims. LZ is really out of position. He's taking everyone on a bit of a chase, and there he goes. He's going to drop. We've almost hit ult status now for the ESV, but it is level 10 for the Evil Geniuses. They do got those ults ready to go. This boss here is still hitting people around, and that's going to be the equalization. We got heroics on both sides, and well, I gotta give it to Wildfire. They said that they could do it, and they went in, and they eventually were able to pick up the siege tank and pick up the rest of the shots here on this temple.
One of the problems for EG there was that Idra was outside of the temple. Usually on this second rotation of temples, you see a Hammer player siege up towards the back and then just have their tank and their healer in front of them. Speaking of tanks,
yeah,
Diablo going at it.
Yeah, and Pickles, he got off that lightning breath. That was a good stray from more Greymon, but just wasn't enough to take home anyone into the bank. And Pickles, once you commit to that lightning breath, you know that this is do or die.
Yeah.
Well, he did it and he died, so that stays at least true to it. Level 11 on both sides. I was looking for some big pushes, but in terms of the forts, the only fort down is actually this top one, and I believe Idrid actually just took it in the last few seconds.
Yep, Idrid just doing his thing, and we're seeing another invader here from Wildfire. This is something they did so well last time round on that game on Sky Temple, but that Ravenous Spirit doing work.
Yeah, but Kawhi Rice was in the position. He got off the Divine Storm. War Greymon down. That's going to be the Ancestral. It will keep up Tsunami, but now Iakona's got to be a little bit more careful on the back of it. Oh, Tsunami likely not to get out, and there he goes. He's going to drop as well. 2 kills going the way of Evil Geniuses as they take the level lead. Idra's now in attendance, and the boss is looking mighty juicy at this point.
Pickles is getting set up to Lightning Breath. Does he? He could Lightning Breath over that wall, but deciding not to. Okay, so EG take the boss here pretty safely. They're going to grab their own easy camp here as well. And they're going to start to push out bot and try and get this wall down that Idra started off, followed by the fort.
Level 13 hype as well, Mr. Haas. What are we going to see here from Jaina? Tradition says sprint. We'll have to see if she will actually take that. Once again, we're seeing Lunar Blaze. I'm curious to see if we will also see the Starfall. Or not the I don't actually remember
I
what
would
it's
say
called.
yes. No,
the extra damage.
Yeah, we won't. Yeah, we'll see the extra damage on Lunar Blaze. Because Hunter's Mark was taken at level 1.
Yes, it was. Ranger's Mark.
Yeah, Ranger's Mark was taken level 1, so we won't see the Owl come in at 16. Hammer going for the barricade. It's something we're actually seeing quite a bit now.
Is it?
On Hammer 13.
Is it?
Yeah, in EU, certainly so.
Okay, thank you.
Especially on Sky Temple as well, because look at bot. You've got those 2 bushes at the entrances. Hammer just sits behind it, barricades in. You're not getting past there. Sure. Also, pre-patch, something the Blizzard stealth nerf. Barricade used to block Stitch's hooks.
Does it?
No, it doesn't. It is a shame. But after Minefield got nerfed, you start to see Barricade a little bit more. ZP's hooks. Doesn't find a target.
A hook and a miss. Yeah, but Iakona's actually been soloing out this bottom temple during this entire push. We did have some big aggression into the bottom lane, and that did actually force Evil Geniuses all the way home, but it was a trade-out for the temples. A lot of pings going down as the Bruisers look to be the big one here, but Idra's going to be okay.
Barricade.
Yep. Now, as I said, I've been playing Sergeant Hammer for months and months. Oh, pickles. Barricade used to actually be a top-tier pick for me back in the day. But because of the way that they rejuggled all the talents, haven't really seen it come back. So it's interesting how it's now resurfacing, at least in Europe, because I have not seen anybody on NA really take it. Not in these high meta games. So maybe, maybe this will start the trend off here on this side of the world.
On maps like Sky Temple and Garden of Terror, where the chokes are so small, like if you just look around the map quickly, so many very tight gaps where body blocking, it fills most of it, but a whole barricade will split up the enemy team, or stop them coming in. There are just so many of those little positions that barricade works wonders on this map. And that 13 talent for Jaina is indeed sprint.
Yeah, it was expected. I mean, she is a glass cannon. She needs that extra mobility if she wants to continue on into the late game. In terms of the hero damage, it's actually Jaina leading the pack, almost the game. She's off by 93 damage up against Valo, believe it or not. So neck and neck without those outputs. Idra setting up town. He's looking for that 16 with those towers, but here comes the stage dive. Iacona getting bursted down immediately. The Rhaegar heal will happen. Pickles is trying to focus down Idra with that lightning breath, but he's trying to left to his own devices. There is no ancestral for him either. Kawhi Rice in the front line here, and he is just soaking up all the hits. We do got the 16 hype on the back of it. Oh, he's still alive! Even with the auto attack there from Bims, it's not enough. There was a healing ward on the floor. One more shot should be it for Tsunami, but they can't land it. And by the end of it all, it's what? No kills. Oh no, they killed Diablo, but he's back already with that resurgence.
ESV Wildfire seem to just be happy with leaving the healing wards up. In the past fights where there's been a healing ward, they haven't focused it at all. It makes you think that if they'd focused it there, just for one mere auto attack, would they have killed Uther? That's the question.
Question of the ages, sir.
Yep.
What did we get at the 16 tier? Just very quickly. Holy shock! I've actually seen this a lot on the EG. Wow, that concussive not so good. That's gonna keep him from going anywhere. But believe it or not, the heals are just enough. Pickles with that lightning breath was not able to actually burst him down, and that's it for Vala. The ETC is down. Rhaegar will finally Ancestral Pickles, but die himself. And what looked like a great gank on top of Idril is not going to be a kill. In fact, it will be the 4-man clear, and Pickles does not have that 5-second death timer this round.
Oh, and Holy Light, that's... Holy Shock, sorry, that's an interesting one. I've never seen that before. I can understand it.
More of an EG pick more than anything.
Okay, yeah, that's understandable, because in theory it's brilliant. Like, they're what, level 17, and that's doing 400 damage to an enemy, but it's a lot of mana, and surely you'd rather be healing your ally.
Shooting Star is the talent that we're thinking of, but it is the extra damage on Lunar Flare. It is the Northern Exposure here for the Jaina, so the vulnerability. Last time we actually saw Root on the Cone of Cold. This time it's a little bit more damage and vulnerability going its way, and the Hover Siege, as Idra has just been hovering around the place.
So they're now adding stacking increased damage, so you've got the Hunter's Mark and Northern Exposure.
Yep.
Going to be able to burst someone down. Like, if you look at their team, you think they've only really got Jaina for burst. But now with the increased damage, Tyrande could probably burst someone. Uther with the Holy Shot could probably burst someone down.
It is a lot of bursts coming out, and that extra little damage could be it. You know, stacking up these on top of a double tank lineup. The only thing you could add to that is a single target Vala, but that's a Manor Mule up. That was probably a panic little button right there as the little guy comes down. It is the Witch Doctor with that Mule as a note, so no good bits here today. But, you know, Mule definitely has a place on Sky Temple. I mean, when you're taking the temples, there's nothing that they can do up against a Mule.
This is true. And the boss is up, as is the blue side hard camp. And even with this 2-level deficit, looks like, oh, they're going to go for a party bush.
Do we have anything to find this? We don't have Clairvoyance.
LZ.
Yep, they don't have Clairvoyance, and getting a hook onto, well, getting the DPS on top of the squishy Tyran. That's a very good pick for them. Immediately, they're going to go for this boss.
A Stitch's hook. Boost the stun. It looks like EG are just saying, nope, you can have this one. We don't want it. We'll take the hard camp, and then we might contest you down bot.
The temple's bot.
Yeah. So they're getting some pressure bot.
They're giving up a lot with this choice.
We'll see how they rotate afterwards. It just set up to move towards bot.
I'm a little surprised that they weren't willing to just try to look for a Stitch's hook pick.
Yeah, so am I.
The top lane doesn't really have much to push down because they already got the fort and they already got the keep, which means that the bruisers will do a bit of core damage, but I don't think it'll be permanent at all.
This boss is just gonna take the attention of 4 members of EG. They do not want to touch this shrine, so this is currently firing down bot. It's got the wall, it's gonna get the tower, and the boss is still alive. So it's gonna get a few hits off on the keep. And the keep should fall.
Well, I'm not sure there's enough shots left in the bank for it.
I think so. This is a pretty big wave top though, but minions will spawn and take that one. Is it going to get it? 5 shots.
Yeah, there's nothing else to hit in that camp, and they have to clear it out. Rhaegar, unfortunately, is going to get caught though. The 5-man stack on top of him. As I said, that top wave, you know, it might be big, but it's not even going to be core damage. And now we got our return bruisers into the top. So it's not the end of the world. It is still 2 keeps each, but without a Rhaegar, it's definitely a good position here to start setting up siege. And that's exactly what Evil Genius is going to do. These towers are going to be 20, man.
Yeah, and that means Nexus Frenzy for Idra. And that means he probably doesn't have to move too far forward in order to start hitting this keep.
Oh wow, it should have
So
been
close.
funny.
There it is.
Will be the frenzy. It is definitely more the auto attack build, and yep, there it is. I have actually been seeing more advanced napalms. Sometimes depends on a lot of the comp, but yeah, the Nexus frenzy with the addition to it has really become a popular option, and this extra range, this extra attack speed, Idri's going to start putting up some massive
Stage
numbers.
dive.
But so will Tsunami. We do put up that concussive. Here goes the Ravenous. Ravenous does get actually stopped out. The lightning was not enough to burst down anyone either. ZP's, you know, he's going to be looking for that return hook. Can we actually land someone for a pick? Doesn't look like we're even going to try, but still the gate is down and the fight will continue. Another barricade to be added to this one. The Blizzard not going to hit Tsunami. The stun will. Pickles goes in. They're looking for LZ, but the counter stun from Kawhi takes a 1 and 2 for the punch. Rhaegar is dead in the water. Another Lunar coming on top of Tsunami, and that could be it for him. Kawhi Rice with the sprint. It is going to be enough for the kill. The hat trick is now confirmed, and this could be the game-ending push if they protect the hammer.
Yep, 2 members left, Nazebo and Vala, and with Hammer here, once that shield disappears, it is game. ZP is just happy to tank this one up. And now Idra starts doing his thing. Strafe gets stopped immediately, 80%. EG, this has been a pretty close game for them though, has to be said. Wildfire impressed me so far in the games we've casted, and I thought EG would take this one with ease. I'd assume this one is Wildfire's pick, considering they were quite strong on it in the previous game. And they had a good performance here. Their draft was okay, as was EG's, but at the end, EG just had so much map pressure. Getting that boss really helped them.
2-level difference. They did hit that 20 when ESV was just a bit under 18.
Yep.
Makes a heck of a difference in a lot of these late game fights. And Protect the Hammer comp was definitely there. The Jaina from, I believe it was LZ, definitely very on point. It had a huge amount of hero damage by the end of it all. Definitely a hero that he really does like. In terms of deaths going back and forth, LZ died twice on... Okay, he was the Tyrande actually. It was Faye on the... it was Faye on the Jaina, but the only deaths was 2 on Tyrande, one of them that last pick, and then Idra once on a gank rotation as well. So very, very nice to see. Unfortunately, our Skype limit has hit max, so that's a really nice pick of you there, Mr. Ben.
Well, thank you. It's yeah.
I'll gladly take your webcam though.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
There we go. Yeah, so game 2, not sure what the map is, but if it's as good as that last game, then we've got a great series ahead of us.
Well, setting up for a 1-0 EG, that's a lot of momentum. I mean, they had a nice little break between games. They're definitely coming into this cool, calm, refreshed. And, you know, if evidence says anything, we're going to go to a Cursed Hollow.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'd really like to see a Dragon Shower come out there.
It's kind of weird. The amateur leagues that have been covering has been almost 100% Dragonshire, but you come back like into more of the higher tier, and it's almost 100% Cursed Hollow. It's strange. C'est la vie. And either way, when we return, game 2 will be here, guys. Forecourt Haas to finish it out. Will it be 2-0? Will it be game number 3 hype? I don't know, but hopefully you'll stick around to find out. Grab some popcorn, grab a friend, come on back, because we'll be here. So we'll see you